Good afternoon, everybody. Going to go over our Forex trades for today, Wednesday, October 7th, this one day after the Yankees lost their one-day wild card playoff game to the Houston Astros. Terrible performance by the Yankees. No, they couldn't get the bat going at all, and they gave up a few runs and consequently lost. Anyway, they'll enjoy the rest of the fall and the winter off, unfortunately, for all of us Yankee fans. Anyway, let's get to it. Really no economic news to speak about. GDP estimates came out from Great Britain in line with what was expected. That was the big news everyone was waiting for this morning, but it didn't do much because it came in pretty much in line. So let's get to it. We had 3 trades, pulled out 1.7 pips. One trade really hurt us. Fortunately for us, we had only 10% of it. And we'll go over that in a minute. The other two, we had 30%. So first one you're looking at here is Euro Yen, which we had 30% of. We were long this 135.063. Went in our favor right off the bat. This is the average price, 135.193, where we pieced out of everything. So we sold 3 pieces for profits from 135.15 all the way up to as high as 135. 35, 34 area. Then you can see what it did here. It got through the 135.50 and kind of stalled out both times up there around 60. We then moved our stop on the last piece to break even. And the Bank of Japan released their monetary policy statement last night, which has created this big dip down, stopping us out on our last piece at break even. So consequently, we picked up 13.0 pips, or size adjusted 3.9. We were really hoping for that last piece that she could run up towards the figure of 136. I really believe it would have if that monetary policy statement didn't come out. We knew it was coming out, obviously. But, you know, it could have worked out the other way, right? This thing could have ran. And it happened while we were watching it last night, too. Happened around 10 or 11, 10, maybe 10:30 in the evening. So if it worked out the other way, it could have ran, and maybe we could have sold even higher than the figure of 136. So, but overall, good trade. US dollar Swiss franc. This is the one that we had only 10% of. The reason we only had 10% of it, which actually helped us, was we went long this. It was not last night, but the night before, and by the time we got out of everything yesterday, it was around lunch. Where we got stopped out. But we went long it with only 10% of our normal size because Australia was coming out with their interest rate decision. Now, obviously, it's US dollar Swiss franc. It's not in Australia. But when we play these majors, we like to call them, you know, the United States economy, Canada, Great Britain, the Eurozone, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. You know, those are the primary ones that we trade, Switzerland as well. When they're going to come out with an interest rate decision, there's nothing bigger than that, right, for an economy. So even though it's not a direct Australian pair, their economy is big enough that it could impact, especially if they surprise the worldwide markets. It could impact the dollar, the Swiss franc. It could impact the yen. It could impact the Canadian. It'll impact almost anything. Fortunately, they didn't surprise. They really didn't. They didn't surprise at all. And while we were in it, it didn't do much. And then yesterday, the dollar eventually started to sell off, consequently stopping us out for a loss of 60.1 pips, or a size adjusted 6.0, because we had 10% of our normal size. And you can see what it did after it stopped us out. It just kept going down yesterday. And even into this morning, or overnight, early this morning, it was down. It just started to rebound here late morning today. So, but we were not willing to, you know, our stop was 60 pips, and that was it. You know, we're not going to risk. We would have been risking over 100 pips here, and not on a scalp. That's, you know, on a swing trade, it's a different story. And the last one to go over is Aussie yen, which was last night. We had 30% of our normal size. We were long from 86.12. Again, we were piecing out in quarters. Sold it all 86.248. Not all of it. Sold 3/4 of it with an average price of 86.248. We sold 86.21.5, 86.30, 86.36. And it ran all the way to 86.46. And then the monetary policy statement came out just as it did in that Euro Yen one. In Aussie Yen, the monetary policy statement came in. We had a 25% of our position in. We moved the stop loss to break even of 86.12. It stopped us out. You can see it ran all the way down to 85.92. If we would have kept in our original stop, which was way down here, down in this area, we would have had no problem, holding it. And maybe the stop was, let me see, where did we get long? This 86.12. The stop was actually in this area here, these bottoms, if I remember correctly. If we would have kept that in, we would have went to bed last night and woke up and came in the office around 7 o'clock and found it up here. But that's, it's not our thing. We moved it to break even for a reason. Let's lock in the 3/4 profit, because how do we know it's going to stop us out and run, right? What if it stops us? What if we don't move it here and it comes down? It comes all the way down and stops us out on that last piece. That last piece is going to wipe away a lot of that profit. So, it's better to book the profits and know you have it. And if it works out for you where you don't get stopped at break even on that last piece and it ran, which it could have very easily done, and I mean, it only took us out by about 22 pips or so. If it didn't do that, if it, could have ran and we could have came in this morning, it would have been up. So, but that's the way, that's how we trade, and that's what we did. So we picked up 3.8 on that on a size adjusted basis. So overall, 3 trades, picked up 1.7 pips, down slightly after commissions. That's the way it is. Nothing great. It was like running on a treadmill, just didn't get anywhere. Unfortunately, fortunately, we only had 10% of this trade, but unfortunately, it stopped us out with a 60 pip loss, which wiped out these 2 trades. But that's what happens, and money management. If we would have had, say, normal size around 20 or 30% of our normal size on the U.S. dollar Swiss franc, like we did on Euro Yen and Aussie Yen, we would have been looking at a loss today. So net result is, we'll take it and we'll move on. So that's it. We're going to wrap it up. If you're still trading now, good luck. If any signals come out, they'll be coming your way. We'll do another video tomorrow, assuming we get some action tonight and tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.